Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Asbiel, and I am the Guild Master of the Guild of Legends, located in the heart of the multiverse. And we're jumping back into Satisfactory. Uh, we've been playing off screen because it's an addiction. However, we've made some progress in this new world that I've been playing in. Um, Currently on phase three, as we've been for a little bit now, but uh, previously we were kind of nearly topping out our power. So we've doubled our power output with new array of generators up on the hill over that way. Redid our piping and stuff a little bit, but the important part is that we've got more power to work with now, so that gives us the freedom to build more production stations and things like that. One thing we haven't really done too much. Uh, Shoot, I don't even remember if I had my Blade Runners last time. That might have been something I did off screen, but I've got them now. So I've got my increased speed and jumping capability. So I'm zooming. I want to take a look at this because it's been a little bit since I've looked at this. I know for a lot of things, like we need plastic for this. Caterium, we need plastic for that and this. Um, Even these others needs plastic, needs plastic. Mycelia needs plastic. Power slugs need a purple slug, which I haven't seen. That needs quartz crystals, which we actually have being produced. We just don't have them being sent to our main hub area, which might change soon. That could be something we do here. This also requires plastic, requires refineries, which we've only just unlocked. Refineries and the oil extractors and things by finishing that milestone. We do have a factory that is producing motors. That was part of our previous milestone, so we had to set up a production line for it. Since we already had rotors and stators being produced in different areas, we just threw together a truck station and a new assembler to turn some amount of those into full-on motors, so that we could have that production going and so that we're not getting stuck on that. Though we also upgraded the storage capacity of both of those, so I did the previous 50 motors that I needed, not handcrafting, but just by throwing the stators in the machine, because if we go over this way towards where we have that production line set up, we can take a look at the rotor storage here, because we put the actual production facility attached to our rotor production line, because it was the easiest since we were over here. So we've expanded this platform, given it a nice ease for trucks to come in. This is where our rotors are put, but what I decided to do was, I want to say I'm not even sure why I did it this way, but I used a smart splitter, and I was just throwing the overflow. I think what I'll do is I'll switch those to any, because this will fill over time, and until it does, this is not really getting anything. So we do want this producing. So we're going to throw those stators in there. Two or more of the vehicles are deadlocked. Let's go ahead and check that out. I know we have issues because we have two trucks going on the same hill, and they've collided a couple times. So we altered the course of one of them, the one that will eventually start bringing stators down. But and it's hard to tell which is which at the moment. So we're just going to get them unstuck and let them go. One of them I still need to rework its path because it currently still is set to go down the hill instead of the new ramp that I installed here to make getting up and down through here easier. But at the base of this, just over here, we've got our truck station with our stator storage. So we're going to go ahead and just do the same change we did to our rotor storage so that this is actually doing some work. Instead of overflow, it's just going to do every other. Stator is going to go into here, so it'll at least have a slow trickle of output. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I need quartz crystals anyway, so we're going to go ahead and follow this truck. Maybe try to get up on it there. We're going to go with this truck to the quartz processing site. Once we're there, we'll grab our crystals, but we'll also see about reworking the pathing for this truck so that it's not colliding with the other one as much. Because if they end up colliding, then that completely halts any production lines that they're attached to, which could be pretty bad, and we don't want that. So, let's see here. We do have another truck operating, but it only goes from down here to up here, so it doesn't really have anything interrupting it. It's pretty smooth for that one. I went a long while without using these vehicles because in one of the test builds, their pathing was broken enough that they just couldn't find a way to get to their destinations, actually. So, under the assumption that they were still broken, I just didn't use them at all. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to delete its path, and we'll just be here ready to make use of it now. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot. We actually don't have this producing quartz crystals. We only have it producing silica because that was all we needed at the time. But let me see here. Does this have a splitter on it? It doesn't. So what I can probably do is I can trade this out for a merger. We'll have that merger go into there, and then as it was, just kind of feed that way. And we'll go ahead and just throw our quartz in there. So the way that this is set up, there's no on-site sink. Instead, we have the materials being pumped into the vehicle station here, and the vehicle station will load up the tractor, which we will probably later replace with a truck. And the tractor will take it back to our storage facility, which is just over here. And then attached to that station, we have a sink next to the storage containers. So it will offload until the storage container is full, and then any overflow will go into the sink. So we'll probably rework that whole situation. But since we're here, I want to see if we can get some amount of processing for quartz crystals. Now, these take 37.5. And I feel like I was going to do 4 and 4. because I think that's what worked out. Ends up taking more for the quartz crystals, but ultimately it is able to use that full allotment of materials by splitting it kind of evenly between the two. So yeah, one constructor doing quartz crystals and one constructor doing silica uses 60 raw quartz. So that will use our full allotment if we have 4 of these. Then we'll just do kind of an array like we have here. I think, let's see, it's going to take 120, so it'll actually need a Mark III. We'll just do that. And then on the other side, we will have the array of splitters attached to our constructors, which we're going to, let's see, how much room do we have? Take up about, yeah, they take up 1, so let's put it in 1, 2, 3, and 4. That gives us a bit of room for walking and such. Now we're going to have splitter kind of feeding like this, and then these ones are going to just be going into each of these. Whoops, that one is slightly off. Each of these will be going into these machines. At this point, it would be... We start over here. It's going to be using a total of... Let's see how much material on this side. 150, so... The first belt is going to be Mark IIIs. The rest can be Mark II or less, I think. Actually, this one only needs to be a Mark I because it's only doing 60s. So each of the belts feeding into the machines can be Mark Is. How do I want to do this? Switch those around. It needs to be Mark III. This needs to be Mark III. And I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't like how it looks. And then we'll just do like that. That way we can still get through here. If we need to come down here, expand it later on. But honestly, for the quartz, we probably don't have to. So taking out of 150, we take off one machine. It'll be 112, so we still need the Mark II. Actually, that's this one. This one will be taking off another bit, which will bring it to 5, so that needs to be Mark II. This one can be Mark I. And I believe I've counted that out properly. Let's go ahead and put these all to quartz crystal so that they can get ready to start producing once they are powered on. Let's see, is this Mark II? Yeah, so we can start powering them immediately. And I think what I'll do is I'll put another industrial storage here. Shoot, honestly, is there a better way? Obviously, I can do a sync over this way, but we're kind of right up against things here. We might have... Well, no, because this is a merger. I would need this to be a splitter. Well, then what I can do is I can't do a smart splitter, but what I would do is I would put a smart splitter here, um, and then have it probably do an elevated. We'll just put this here. Probably do an elevated path like this, and then just have it belt over that way towards a sink, which we would put up once we have everything in place here. These are all going to have a series of mergers going towards the storage. Excuse me. And we're going to have to just kind of do the opposite thing we did on the inputs, where we adjust the belts per, I did this one wrong, per their join output. So this one is doing less than 30, or all of them are doing less than 60, so they can all just feed right into their things there. That'll be bringing that here. That'll up it to 45, which can use another Mark II. This will up it to 67.5, so we'll need a Mark II. And then, let's see, because a Mark II is up to 120, right? And then this is still going to be well below that, so we can just use another Mark II. We'll just do it this way and load it into there, and it matches perfectly. If that's the case, this can probably be done. This doesn't look right. Yeah, first, I guess, oh, you know what? It is bowing out slightly. Ah, I didn't realize that. Alright, so we can't really polish that up without actually changing things. But we're good as we are. Now, I want to throw down crafting bench so that I can make an AI limiter real quick, because I will need that for my smart splitter over here. Smart splitter that we will need to arrange this way. We're just going to go full speed into it. Similarly, we'll do this. And then the smart splitter, because these will be feeding about the same pace into the smart splitter, so we'll do our overflow here, which it's currently going to want the whole thing to be overflow, so that's going to load up. But as you can see on the belt now, it's going to start alternating between those, which is exactly what we want. In fact, we can go ahead and take these, throw them into the storage. And we want this to process as fast as it can, so we're going to do a Mark III on this. And we're going to try to make an awesome sink. We need more iron plates. If I'm lucky, I might be able to make those. Otherwise, I'm going to have to leave this and come back. But it looks like, no, it looks like we should be good. We can go ahead and make these reinforced iron plates so that we can make our sink. Which will probably bring it up here. We're going to have it facing this way. We'll go ahead and do it like this. I think that'll be a good fit. Needs to be a Mark III. Now we just want this to meet our belt there. And it looks like that is about where we want it. Is this in line? I think it is. We can hope. And then this we can connect to our power line over here, so it'll be able to start feeding immediately. Actually, you know, our sink should really be our overflow line should be before these, actually. Well, no, because honestly, we don't even need these storage containers here. They are a product of a different design. But we can do this, and now it'll start feeding those into there. And since it's alternating them like so, which it will hopefully continue to do so forever, it should always be an even alternation, which means that unless something goes awry, we will, on the other side, where our truck unloads all of these materials, will always have a good amount of both of these so that we can set up a storage container on our quartz depot station over here. Fancy name for something that's not that fancy. You'll see when we get there. But before we can get there, we're going to need to drive. And 65 coal should be enough to get me there. We might be a little hopeful in our estimates. And we're going to hope that we don't go off course at all. But we are going to make sure that this takes a different path from the other truck to avoid interruptions in the production lines. So, it'll just be a nice... I seem to have... I must have hit some keybind that muted my desktop audio in the stream. But thankfully I just noticed that. Hopefully it wasn't muted for too long. But this should be just a nice, cozy ride back. Going to try to save as much fuel as we can. I don't know if coasting actually saves fuel in this game, but I'm kind of running on the hopeful assumption that it does. Which it appeared like it was making a difference, so we're going to go with it. Then we've got this set up so that it should hopefully, using lanes here, should hopefully avoid any collisions. But we will see in the future after vehicles get a chance to make use of it. Now, this point, I'm never going to really be able to do much about this, but I might be able to veer it enough that it's not an issue. So I'm going to hope that that was a wide enough path for it to not cause a collision when they're both just automated. Now, one thing I could probably do at some point is come through here and clean up a lot of these rocks that are just in the way. But that's not a concern right now, so I'm not going to bother with it. And then coming up here, you will see the Quartz Depot Station. Very simple facility. It is currently being fed in the cheapest of ways by using conveyor belts to just cart the coal over, but it gets the job done for now. Because we only have two real sources of fuel, so we make do with what we've got. And then coming around the back, you can see the sink I have set up, so we'll just end up expanding that situation to account for the new container that it's going to have for the quartz crystals. We've already got a smart splitter there to do the overflow, so it'll be easy enough to set it up to route quartz crystal into its own container. Now, ideally, on the way up, I might try to take it through the hills here a little bit to avoid interactions with the other truck. This might be what we need to do to make sure that we have a good, comfortable route for all vehicles involved. I'm kind of forsaking the left side, right side of things. Shoot, I wonder if maybe I should have done that differently. But here, it's just a downhill. We'll see how this goes. We'll give the tractors some time to go. And honestly, if I replace them with trucks down the line, I'm going to need to redo their paths anyway because I didn't like save them as like properly. I just saved them to the vehicle basically. That's my understanding of it anyway. I haven't used vehicles for a while, so I could be wrong about that. I might be able to just transfer over their recorded paths to a different vehicle. I'm not sure. But this is going to take a minute. We're going to need to make sure that we're kind of creeping up the incline here enough that we don't completely stall out, because I did that the first time I was recording this path and had to get rid of the point where it actually stopped in the middle of the hill and actually edit the path a little bit after the fact. But it looks like we're doing good now. We're all in the clear, so we just need to get back to the quartz facility and close the loop. Alright, so we can enable our autopilot now, jump out, and let the truck go on its way. We're going to give this... I don't know how long it actually takes to fully load the full container into the truck. But we're just going to go like that and hope that it works out. This thing won't actually be operating now for a little bit because this will have to get full. But it is there for if there ever is a stall in production there, to make sure the machines will keep going and keep producing tickets for us to unlock more customizable customizer options and stuff like that. But now we just get to run back. It's a long path to run back, but that's why we put the tractors in place, so that we don't have to actually do this run on a regular basis. Now, when I get to a point where I can do the monorail trains. That'll actually completely revamp this. We won't have to worry about whether our trucks are going to collide or anything. Because we can know exactly where the tracks are going to go. And even if I used more than one train, even on singular tracks, like if I just had a single track going down here, up and down here, I could use things to manage the flow of traffic, and then, once they have an opportunity, they'll go. They won't have a complete halt like the trucks and tractors and things will. But yeah, now that we've done that, let's go check on these motors that we had starting to get produced earlier. Hey, it's done 12 more than what I put in there, so that's making good progress. It's not, it doesn't produce a lot, because we're only producing like 2 stators per minute or something, and like 4 rotors or something like that. So it's not a high output, but for now it is sufficient. We don't have a super strong need for motors on a regular basis. Same with stators and rotors. They are a lesser needed material. So I'm not too worried about that just yet. But since we have them, we'll go ahead and drop them into the machine, drop our cable that we had meant to do. And now we're going to have to set this up because this sink is going to want to burn a lot of quartz. So what we'll go ahead and do, we'll just take that out, and we'll probably need to rework this whole situation. I am going to do this in sort of a lazy way, and I am going to just burn off all of this silica real quick. Because I'm going to replace this storage container with a bigger one. You know what? This is gonna take too long, and apparently I have enough storage capacity for what's left anyway. Well, not quite. I don't have enough room for that one steel beam. But we can go ahead and start plotting out our industrial storage here. I think if we do a smart splitter, kind of similar to how we did it before, I need to be able to see this path because it is struggling to get that line for me. We'll have center output be... No, center output is going to be overflow. The right output will be quartz crystals. The left output will be silica. This we can just run right into there. Let's pick this up again. And yeah, that's not smashing into the machine here. It's not the prettiest, but it gets the job done. We'll go ahead and throw our silica back in there. And now this should be set to unload the truck. The other one should be set to load the truck. So the next time our truck comes by, we should see the fruits of our labor. That is to say, the silica being put into this container, the quartz crystal being put into this container. Um, it's going to be a minute because it is just arriving back at the station now. So we're not going to wait on this thing for that entire time. We do need to start getting oil production going, though, because without that, our hold on, what do I need for explosive bolts? Probably need to hit the smokeless powder. Yeah, without the crystals, I can't do my stuff here, so I'm going to wait on that. Without the motors, I can't do the industrial, the milestone. And I will be waiting on this tractor to get back for that stuff. And without the refiners, I can't do the plastic and oil. So what I'll probably end up doing, and I'm actually going to want to go and get some stuff from my... Let's see, where did I have... I had thought I had done sulfur. Did I not actually get sulfur done? I was running around with a bunch of explosives. Let's go ahead and scan for sulfur real quick, because... Oh yeah, I put it up here, didn't I? I must have just not put a factory for it. A marker for it. So, yeah, I was sure that I had the facility already. So we'll go ahead and go restock on our equipment because I am out of Nobelisk, which I need to clear rocks and stuff, and that might come in handy with us going into a new area to investigate oil. I think this facility is going to be over here somewhere. I could search for it again, because I know it'll be wherever the claimed sulfur is. Yeah, because I had set up a whole path for coal to be taken to it so that it would make the gunpowder for me. So once I'm there, I'll need to make sure I put a map marker on it so I don't forget. I smacked my microphone. I apologize for that. But here it is. Look at that. A good amount of that. We're also going to need steel beams for... this is a MAM. We don't actually need a MAM here anymore. Just for fun, I'm going to throw lookout tower right here. I don't know why. I just felt like it. So we're going to just come in through here, restock on steel pipes and beams, and make some more Nobelisk. I'll go ahead and just offload my unused, my less than full stack there. I'll grab a few stacks of this as well. Offload that. And this would be better if I set these up with a proper sink so that they would be continue producing consistently. And I would be getting something out of it. But I am fine without that, actually. Before I leave, I'm going to just jump down here, and I'm going to grab more stators to just throw them into my motor production line. just to help it produce more, because this thing is pretty full. Not completely, but it's up there. It's doing well for itself. Looks like our tractors are still doing good. Because they're using the lanes, we don't have to worry about them smashing into each other on this ramp, which would be a very likely spot since it is the one path for them to both go. But I made sure to make it wide enough to give them room. This is the only remaining spot where they should be able to have a collision, and I think I have them separated enough on their paths to where they don't. So we're going to remain hopeful of that. And in the meantime, go ahead. We'll just throw... Oh, did you look at that? Now it's actually waiting on rotors. We're just going to cap out the stacks there and throw more stators here. Grab that extra 12. This should... Yeah, these are producing rotors at like, well, 8 a minute, it looks like. Which honestly, it is astonishing to me that that would be the part that's being held up. Oh, but it looks like they're not getting enough screws. Why is that? They each need 100 per minute. 40, 80, 160, 200. That should be 200, and these are all well stocked on iron rods. How could this be? How could it be that they're... Oh, because the belts aren't fast enough. I bet the belts aren't fast enough. There's only Mark IIs here. So let's see. This is 40. This is going to be 80. So this needs to be able to do at least 80, which it's doing 120 right now, which is good. That only needs to do 60. This is going to need to do 120. So this one and everything behind it needs to be Mark III. This is using 100, so that actually only needs to be Mark II, which is good. That only needs to be Mark II, this only needs to be Mark II. Okay, so there was a bit of a slowdown on the screws for my rotors, but now they should be golden because I've cleaned that up. I probably put this together before I had Mark IIIs, or else it just slipped my mind. Either way could equally be likely. But now they are producing as they should. They're getting what they need. So our production line should no longer be waiting on rotors. I obviously, you know, I put in some, so it's got that working for it, but rotors should now be the thing that gets backed up before stators does, because stators, I think we are only making like 2 per minute. But even if we are only getting 2 per minute, I mean, how many does this need per minute? 10? Yeah, I don't think we're producing 10. Shoot, we're not even producing 10 rotors, so that is as good as we can get it for now without upgrading our rotor and stator production lines, which I would want to overhaul that whole platform to do. Because I don't have the room to add more into that without it being kind of a mess. However, we've got a good... we should have a good stock of quartz crystals now. And we can throw these motors that we did get into our milestone But let's check this out. Let's go see how this is actually performing. It's immediately unloading as we get here. You can see... Yep, so it seems like it unloads in a odd pattern. Um, but it will process all of it. And it should hopefully... Yeah, because this is doing overflow, it'll never get to a point where it's backed up there. Because, like, it'll get backed up here, it'll get backed up here, but not on this belt. This belt is impossible to back up because it'll have the overflow. So anything that it can't put elsewhere, it will send through there to be burned. And there we can see the silica going. Let's go ahead and grab a couple stacks of these crystals. I don't know how much I'll need for anything. But we'll need a few, at least. So let's go into our MAM, go to our quartz. Right off the bat, let's see. We're going to need more reinforced plates, and we're going to need a bunch of rods to make into rebar. So we'll grab a stack of plates. We've already got a bunch of rods, enough that we can make our rebar. So let's go ahead and make 150 rebar real quick. Wrong area. The one thing I haven't done yet is make a production facility for any of this ammunition stuff. So currently we have to handcraft any of that we plan on using. But I figure that's not so bad. You know, we don't need to deal with it too much, so you know, we do a bulk build of it like this once in a while, and generally we're good. I think once we're here, I'll also do like 50 Noblisk. Just so I have some to work with. Maybe not 50. We'll do like 25. Down the line, obviously, once I have other necessities taken care of, I do want to automate the production of Noblisk and rebar and stuff like that. I went over 25, but I wasn't paying attention. I want to automate the production of things like rebar and Noblisk so that I just always have it ready, and I no longer have to manually craft it myself. Because that would just be a lot more convenient. Now, the pulse Noblisk we could do. We would just need 5 of these crystal oscillators, which we make 2 at a time. So we're going to actually just make 6 of these real quick. Crystal oscillators, I'll probably set up a production line closer to my quartz. Because right now it's not... Yeah, we're kind of out of room for making stuff like that over here. And we don't have access to the quartz here, so I would need to be... I mean, I am already shipping the quartz here, but it would be even more that I have to deal with. I'd have to set up a branch off of my storage station. Which would just be kind of a tedious situation to deal with right now. Let's go ahead and get this in. Did I need a full 100? I did need a full 100. So we're going to do that just so that we have the pulse Noblisk out of the way. I think that was a stun effect as well. We're just going to round out with the last of the Noblisk we can make. I'm not even going to bother with Pulse Noblisk because I don't care about that. The purpose I have for the Noblisk is just clearing out stuff. Speaking of clearing out stuff, I wanted to get rid of this because I don't like having it right next to my hub and stuff. And I did that with one earlier. Before I throw that away, let's see what I'm going to need. Oil extractor is going to need motors, so I will need to pull some motors for that. A refinery is also going to need them. I'm going to need more. Let's see. I don't know. I'm going to have to like take a look at making them and see what they produce. Does this say how much oil? Okay, so normal extraction rate is 120. So I can use that as kind of a basis for how much stuff I'm going to need. Because it's been a minute since I've done the oil, and I don't remember offhand exactly what it needs. So let's make it a refinery. Assuming we have 120. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up plastic, we're going to want to set up rubber, and we're going to want to set petroleum coke to burn off the residue that it produces. We also need some petroleum coke, I think, for one of the things I need. We're also going to want to produce fuel, mostly so that I can get the polymer resin. The fuel we're probably going to just dump into a fluid buffer and then just burn it. Flush it, rather. So if we're getting 120, how much can we do with that? It's 30 for the plastic. Is it 30 for the rubber? Okay. Petroleum coke comes after those. For the fuel, it'd be 60. So we could do a fuel, a plastic, and a rubber, and we'd probably be good, honestly. Oh, actually, I can get that out of plastic? Or no. I see how it is. So I want the polymer resin for something else, but what I could do then is later on I could turn it into residual plastic and rubber, but that's for another time. So let's look at 3 refineries. That's going to produce 10 and 20 residue, which will be, I mean, this is just kind of a tertiary thing anyway, so I don't care about matching that. And then an oil extractor. On top of that, we're going to need a lot of pipes and things like that, so we will handle those when we get there. We should be good with the materials we have. I do want to go ahead and get a couple full stacks of a little bit of everything. Take a bunch of concrete. I'm going to take 5 stacks. Iron plates will take 2 stacks, just like the rods. Cables will want at least a stack, but 2 stacks is probably fine. I don't think I need all this wire, so I'll probably actually just burn off some of the wire. Yeah, look at these go. That's almost full. This is going to take a while still because it didn't have the head start that the silica did. But what do we have here? We're going to burn off some of these wire. And we're going to go collect motors. And we're going to go ahead and use these motors for the refinery stuff before we use them for the milestone. Because while we're working on setting up the refineries, the milestone, the motors we need for the milestone will be getting produced. So we're good in that regard. And I would bet there's probably even more than just 12 this time. The last 2 times I went there, it was 12 both times, but I bet since we got our rotor production sorted out, look at that. More than enough. Now, we're going to search for crude oil, and I know there's going to be crude oil on the coast here. Somewhere. Because that's just how that area is. It's got the stuff. You know, I'll probably be fine with just my sword. So I can probably... Oh, it's a... I forgot to mark my sulfur. It's fine. So we're going to be going a ways before we get to the oil, but we've got a normal node, we've got a pure node, we've got a normal node. We'll probably just take one of those normal nodes and set it up with what we had planned. Because that will be sufficient for now. I'm going to go ahead and set up an extension to the path here. Give a bit more of a walkway here. And we'll just kind of continue that out yonder. Out over yonder. Shoot, let's just keep on it. I'm gonna have to go around this terrain here, but that's not too big a deal. We'll just do it the lazy way. And literally just go like this until we hit oil. Part of the reason that I brought so much concrete is for this exact purpose. Let's see where the oil is from here. Because I think it's on this, like, central islands over here. It's still a ways away, huh? Oh yeah, it's way up there, so it's past these islands. We'll probably... I don't want to have to walk right through a bunch of hatchers and stuff, but maybe once we reach that other side over there, we'll end our atrocious walkway and go from there on actual solid ground. I only hope that I am not going so far out that I'm going to hit, like, the edge of the world and die. And I would truly hope that there would be some warning before I get that far. But I can see the land out there, so I imagine the edge of the world has got to go out there. It's got to let me go that far, at least. Falling off of this walkway would be a nightmare. It would take so long to swim to land. Swimming in this game is not good. It is very slow. Hey, look, a yellow slug. Let's go ahead and keep going. I wonder... That's just got to be like the geometry of those landmass shapes just ending, right? Let's just do a straight path over the poison thing and grab slug before poison. And monsters. Yep, the poison's happening. That guy is feeling it. I think it's over there. Ah, there's one right there. That's actually... the nearest node is actually the pure node, which isn't the one I was going to go for, but let's go ahead for it anyway. I didn't expect to go through almost all of my concrete before I even got there. Now, I said I'd probably be good with my sword, but up against one of those guys, one of the big ones, I'm not so sure. And, whoops, what I might do is I might just... This walkway was fun, but I don't think I'm going to take it back. I'm probably going to go along the beach to get back, so... What's the best way to go from here? I wonder how far I can check this. Farther than I thought. Far enough to upset that guy. Far enough to upset those. I can even take them out with this. Oops. Oh, he's dead. So the thing I was actually worried about... I mean, I was kind of worried about the whole bunch as a organization. Alright, well... Two will do it. And if I land it on the hatcher, it'll spit them out, but... or three will do it. I bet two will do it. There we go. Problem solved. Now, we'll go ahead and pick up this iron ore just because we're here, and we'll clear out the space. But what we want to do is we want to establish territory here. These beaches are pretty flat land, so what we can do is we can just do our platforms pretty low to the ground here. And we don't have to worry about getting in the way of anything. We don't have to worry about the terrain getting in our way, rather. You are in the wrong place, my friend. Run. So we'll go ahead and establish a pretty sizable platform with as much as we can before we take off. We'll go ahead and throw up our oil extractor. We'll just face you this way for now. Clean up some of the foliage. And then maybe deal with the neighbor there. Actually, you know what I'll probably do? Because I don't want to leave this sitting here. So we're just going to go along our path and we're going to tear it down, which will take us back to kind of where we started. But from there, we can start working on a power line array to get us power out here, which is going to be very important. So it's going to be just, you know, it was a long walk out here. It's going to be a long walk back. But maybe in addition to setting up a power line, we might also look into setting up a tube. A tube. What is it called? The I don't remember. The tubes you can use to travel quickly, though. That's the important thing. And 350 concrete for each span of 50, which is quite a big span of foundations, but still, it's a lot of concrete. Especially considering I never seem to be able to make it back. The concrete, that is. Like, I'm always pulling from, like, a half-empty container. It's never been full. Or it hasn't for a long time, at least. Yeah, this is what I think that was the 4th bit of 50, so that's like 200 foundations so far. And if it were a straight line, it would be a much more reasonable thing, I think, but well, it's not a straight line. So we won't treat it as such. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do like whoops. Maybe whoa! There was an autosave, which gave a bit of a delay, and then because of that, I jumped out into the water. That's interesting, because of the way that it animated with the Nobelisk stuck to it, it was far enough that it didn't actually have the proper impact. So just to make sure that we're not going to be slogging through water and actually having to swim, I'm going to go ahead and make sure to bring it all the way out to here. Again, it's not pretty, but it is a heck of a lot better than what it could be. What it could have been if I left it the way it was. The power lines, I think we're going to try to... I want them out on the actual terrain, because I don't think I want this to be a permanent fixture either. Yeah, so... I wonder if I could place it over there. Or it's too steep, but that doesn't mean it's a no-go entirely. Wire's too long. But here it's not. So we're just going to kind of go around here. Maybe, like I've done in the past, I will come through later on and clear out trees and stuff to... Oh, I'm being attacked. Oh, they are everywhere. There's a whole horde of stingers trying to tear me apart. But they failed, for I am mighty. And we'll just go ahead and do this at this cable going down to the... this isn't the beach I thought it was. We'll just kind of continue up this way. And again, not the kind of spot that I thought. We did reclaim all that concrete. Alright, I think that works. Above water still? Yeah. For lack of a better option, we will kind of go out this way a little bit before we turn towards the land. Alright, so there we've got that. So we'll go ahead and get our cable again. And we will, I think this one is more reasonable. We can actually use this as a permanent fixture. Just attach there. Just for the sake of neatness, we will do it here. Get to the corner. Throw it there. this elevated position to keep it out of the way. There, we'll go up here. Slightly clipping the ground. That's kind of enough to bother me. Well, they don't seem to have noticed me yet, so I'm going to go ahead and take them out this way. I think this will be just fine. Did I miss one? Well, it's dealt with now. So we'll continue to use points like this as kind of a place to put our posts, so they're off of like the main usable paths. There's not really a spot for one here. And this guy's angry, so I'm gonna have to deal with him. Or flee. Yeah, I might just gun. I might just run. Gun. We'll just run these posts along the beach, which is surely a safe way to run power lines. Couldn't possibly be anything wrong with this. I wonder if I could do wall outlet there. Nope. Needs to attach to an actual wall. That is unfortunate, because that'd be a good way to run these lines. Alright, how close am I? Oh, I'm actually... It's there. So, what I could do is from here establish a bridge crossing the water. Oh, yep, you can see my refinery out there. So, I'll try to actually face it a little bit better, where it can just be a singular straight path. So I think more like that way. Where's I think I actually see it out there, so I think it's actually going to be this way. I'm going to use the 1 meter as kind of the blueprint. And then just drive these back into the sand to look a bit neater. This bridge will be entirely separated from the platform that I will be attaching to. So it doesn't matter that this is going to be at a different angle. But you look at that, you can see it there. And we have plenty of concrete left because we didn't use all of it to reach the island this time. Alright, and I think from here we'll just do a couple of ramps like so. And I'm just going to finish this stretch of the platform real quick before I bring the wire over. Alright, now All that's left to ensure that the island is reasonably secure is to connect the wire to the refinery. That will ensure that nothing spawns in the area surrounding the refinery. Or not the refinery, but the oil extractor. The pump. We can get it here, and then if we're lucky, we'll be able to attach it onto the corner here, because I like using the corners like that. And there we go. So I'd be doing 240, so 240 I could do. It's just gonna do one of the. So 240 minus 60. 180 over 2. So I could do 3 refiners each of plastic and rubber. Let me throw down a refinery real quick. Let's see. Doing 3 each of plastic and rubber. That's... Alright, so doing back to... so what I could do, which it'd be slightly different. I would need the 1 refinery for the fuel, which would be making the residue that I want. Then 3 of each of the others. Then like 2 refineries to do... What's it? Yeah, we're going to stick with 4. We're not going to go overboard. Stick with 4, I think that'll be good. We'll continue making the platform here, extending it out this way. Probably see about extending it on that axis as well. I'll have to fix this little notch out of the corner, but I think that'll be plenty of space. We've got some neighbors here who are going to be a problem. Now, with them out of the way, I think... Hold on, what's this? Is this more oil? No, that is like a Mercer sphere or something. Which, I mean, we're here. Really?
Relaying message. Hello, this is paternal figure. I have taken ill and need your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
Alright, so we've gotten that. Even though there's no point to it yet. It probably won't be for a while. Shoot, honestly, they might keep all the story stuff actually behind final release for all I know. The eventual 1.0, whenever that might happen. But, whoop, did I not get that? Let's see. Okay, I think that's going to be clear enough. I'm going to get this, what is this, quartz, out of the way, just so that I don't have to deal with that being in the way. And then I need 4 refineries. I I don't want them right on the edge because I want enough room to work on them. In fact, let's do it like this. I'm going to start here, and then I'm just going to go out from there. So I'm going to have 3 that are going to be using the oil. So we'll have this one, which will be doing fuel. And I wonder if I could do more fluid buffers. Because if I can just kind of chain a series of buffers, I don't think that would work, but I think I can get away with this. Then that makes it so that I can have more time before I have to actually deal with it. So that's doing that, and then we'll just have an industrial storage off to the side here. We're going to have our industrial storages over here, I think. Yeah, let's start you there, there, there. So that'll be... this will be outputting 30, so we'll just do a basic one. Disgusting. Yep. We'll go ahead and just do it on the ground. Be fine. You know, actually, if I wanted to, I could just do this. That will keep clear walkway here, and we're still good. Now this will be producing, we'll say, rubber. And this will be producing plastic. And, you know, I think I want to keep their pipes roughly on the ground. So let's go ahead and do this. Gonna do one of these right there. So I'll be doing 30. These pipes, I think, can do quite a bit. Yeah, 300, so I don't have to worry about that. And this will give us room for our final refinery, which we'll just put right there. This refinery will be turning that residue into petroleum coke, which we'll go ahead and make. This storage won't be long-lived, but we will need it for a time. It's going to put out like 120, so we're going to want to do a double. Mark II, rather. Not a double. And then we'll just route this in this direction. Hit it with one of these. Like so. Flawless. These ones we're probably going to just elevate right away. So there'll be 20 and 20. So that works out. That should be neat. Probably want this for the inward one. The inner path. That is clean. And honestly, we could change this a little bit to... Can I snap that there? It doesn't want to snap there. But if I want it there... Let's just make sure I can do this easily. Overcomplicating things, it's satisfactory. Who would have thought? So now we should be able to put the splitter there, actually. So this will help keep these from taking up too much space. Because instead of coming all the way out to here, they're coming out to here, and it's better. Then this refinery is in a bad spot. That's what I've discovered. But it's not if I find some way to have that go there instead of here. I need this one to go there. Well, here's what we can do. We don't really have much room to push this refinery out, as we're kind of on the edge of the platform, which the edge of the platform doesn't mean anything. But for the sake of my own situation, let's go ahead and try this. We will put the refinery next to these ones with a gap for a pipe to run between. I can't really move it one more over. Because I think I was, what, there, but that's not enough. Yeah, so there we go. We can do it like that. This will then make our petroleum coke. This pathway will be different. This one needs to come out to here. Is that straight? Yeah, I think that is. Alright, so we still have plenty of room. This is kept pretty neat and tidy. These are all going to be ready to go. This will be feeding in from these two. These all, I mean, I still need to route the pipes to these. Which, let's see here. We can do this. This one is kind of like the central point. So let's get a pipe. Not there. That should do it. Looks good. I'm missing concrete, but I won't need concrete. Gonna take more concrete from here. I want this to kind of come up to, say, here. I think that should do it. That'll be nice and neat. I actually will be using that concrete, it looks like, because of the way I've decided to sit these. The wire might be too long to reach the far one. Maybe not. So fuel will start pouring into here. This is putting out 40 per minute. So it'll take that doesn't seem right. So it'll take 10 minutes to fill one of these. So it'll take 30 minutes to fill the buffers that I have. But I also thought, why not just add more buffers if I've got the materials? That 30 minutes becomes an hour. What do you want to do, bud? My cat is looking to hang out, it seems. So, I've got a cat here who's just hanging out quietly, so he's going to be there. You wouldn't even know it. So yeah, it'll take about, if I'm doing math even remotely correctly, an hour to fill those buffers, which would be plenty of time. In the meantime, we've got all of this plastic and everything being produced. And shoot, by the time that, well, no, by the time that's full, we're not going to have the ability to package it, which would be the best solution, because then we could burn the packaged fuel and get the benefits of all of that. So here, I think, is going to be what we're going to do. We're coming up on the hour. We started about 20 minutes late, but I think that's going to just have to be the way that it is. One thing we don't have set up here is overflow for the physical materials. So we're probably going to want to set up each of these lanes with an overflow. So that's going to be 4 smart splitters that I need. You know, we've got a minute here. Let's just see what I can do in that regard. See if I can make these 4 AI limiters. Looking good in that regard. Now, if I were to do it like this, But that's... They're sitting a bit close for that. Because what I wanted to do was just throw conveyor lift on each of these, like so. The problem is, like, in terms of neatness, this one is almost fine. That one is close enough. So yeah, let's try to clean this up just a little bit. Go ahead, bud. We'll do it there. This one we'll have to do further down the line here. Yeah, it's still clipping, but it is close enough that we're not going to bother with it. It's going to be fine. And who knows how long these production lanes will actually stay. So we're not too worried about it. Now, what we want is mergers on each of these. I should probably actually have them going that way. This last one, I can have going out to the side like that. And we'll just feed them into each other. Of course, we have to set these splitters. Left output is going to be overflow. Left output is going to be overflow. Left is in relation to the way that traffic is going, not the way that I'm facing, fortunately. So I'm doing this the right way. Left will go to overflow. Now, for all of these, we are going to want them to go to an awesome sink, which we do not have the materials for. But if we can make these like 9 reinforced plates, then we might be in business. We can. So we'll just finish out doing this overflow, and then we're going to call the stream once we've got that complete. It'll only take us probably a couple of minutes to do. And for the 41 concrete rather that we need, we'll just pull from some of the incomplete sections out here. That'll do it. And we'll go ahead and set up an awesome sink just right here. And we can have that lifted to about the same height. And then we can just feed that out through there like so. And then if we've got room for another wire, just slap that on right there, and we are taken care of. Now, actually, let me find the... Does this thing not have a ladder? I thought it did. It has a ladder up here. Now, once these storage containers are full, all of this will start feeding into the overflows. And the overflows can then just go right into the sink, and the sink will burn it for points, which is good for us. The only other thing then needs to be done to maintain this is occasionally flushing this line of buffers so that the fuel production one keeps going as well. But that one is less important, and if that one stops going, it's not the end of the world, because the residue that it's making isn't something super necessary. We just need it currently for a few of our research options, stuff like that. We'll probably end up doing research off screen and unlocking some new things, and of course expanding on our production lines and everything. So uh, that is going to be where we call it for tonight. However, so to everyone who's been watching, anybody who has been lurking behind the scenes, anyone who's checking out the VODs on YouTube after the fact, thank you guys for coming by. I appreciate you, each and every one, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Till then, have a good one. I don't know how long I had my mic muted there. I might have had my mic muted during my outro. If that's the case, I apologize, but this is where we're calling the stream, so have a good one, everybody.